Hey y'all, Duke here. So, if you haven't seen yesterday's video about my new double speed Shulker Box Unloader, I recommend you actually go check that out. Today's video is going to be a quick follow-up on my buffer, pre-filter, and feeder for double speed item sorters. The purpose of this unit is to maximize throughput of a double speed item sorter by filtering out non-stackable items, shulker boxes, unloading those shulker boxes, and preparing those items to be sent to the sorter itself. As you can see, this unit is very overbuilt. It has the ability to process items at up to 4x hopper speed, and the purpose of this is to constantly saturate a double speed item sorter. To help visualize why you would want such an overbuilt unit for your double speed item sorter, I'd like to draw your attention to how most item sorters are set up. So here's an example of an item stream coming in, and as you can see we got various different types of items. Of course, as with any item sorter, you'll typically have a pre-filter, so say you get a shulker box, you gotta filter that out so that way you can go ahead and unload it. You get a sword, that's non-stackable, we know we can't send that in, so we'll take that out. You'll get a bucket, a crossbow, we know those won't get sorted in the system, so may as well just pull them out. And looking at this here, there isn't necessarily anything wrong, but you may have noticed, now we got these gaps, where items could be sent to our double speed item sorter, but just aren't. So what if, rather than having a pre-filter that matches the speed of our item sorter, we have one that's actually capable of going faster than that, so that way whenever there are these gaps in the item stream, they can be filled in with additional items, thus increasing the throughput of our sorter. And right here, I believe, is a good visualization of what we got going on with this system here. So any shulker boxes that happen to come in will get filtered out and we'll start unloading them. Non-stackable items are pulled out. And because our pre-filter can process items at 4x hopper speed, whereas our sorter can only receive them at 2x, we are able to completely saturate in the feed dropper. Additionally, we can get another little speed up by sending stackable to 16 and stackable to 64 items separately. Since we know a stackable to 16 and a stackable to 64 item can never be the same, and we can detect stackable to 16 items and filter them out, we can send them concurrently with the stackable to 64 for increased throughput. Going over the changes from the first unit, starting here at the top, which actually has not changed, so have the same 16x influx buffer, with 4 minecarts with chests in the middle. Going down the unit, I have moved up the Shulker Box Unloader. Instead of using 2 of pallapalla's Shulker Box Unloaders concurrently, I use a single unit modified for 4x unloading. The old 12 game tick shulker filters have been replaced with new 8 game tick shulker filters. So basically these run at hopper speed rather than slower than hopper speed. In here we have the non-stackable items filter. So we got 2 units on this side and 2 on this side. Going down here we have 4 16 stackable item filters. Lastly, down here we have not 1 but 2 item feeders. One for stackable 16 items and one for stackable to 64. Since version 1 I have compacted these item feeders a bit, and now they have been updated to use a EFO hopper timer. So that way you can configure how large of group of items you want to send out. And lastly, I have a minor addition here, a lazy chunk detector. So basically, if for whatever reason, and if the chunk that this system is in becomes a lazy chunk, it'll force shut off the droppers, since there's no point in dropping item entities into the area when they're not going to be processed. And as with the previous unit, this entire system should be built inside a single chunk, so we don't have any critical redstone cross chunk borders and potentially break if, you know, redstone goes from a loaded chunk into an unloaded chunk. Unfortunately, when I set up the world download, I overlooked that little fact, so it isn't actually centered inside a chunk and all self-contained. It doesn't really matter because these are technically spawn chunks, and if you're building inside the spawn chunks, then you don't need to worry about that. But if not, and you definitely want to make sure the entire contraption is contained within a single chunk. To get a better look at each of the individual components, I have built them out right here. First off, as mentioned earlier, we got a pallapalla Shulker Box Unloader, modified for 4x unloading. For the Shulker Box filter, we are using a design by Beast. For filtering stackable to 16 items, we have ilmango's 16 Stackables filter, as seen in episode 33 of his 1.14 Skyblock series. And lastly, we got a dustless, non-stackable item filter. Links to pallapalla's, Beast's, and ilmango's videos can be found down in the description down below, as well as a download for this world right here. Although if you've already downloaded the world from yesterday's video, then you already got it, you don't need to re-download it. To answer the question posed in the thumbnail of this video, is this unit worth building? Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I know I'll be building it, or at least I'll be building a further iteration of it if I get around to making a third, and maybe even fourth or fifth iteration of this. But is it actually worth it to build something this big just for a little bit of an efficiency gain? And to that, I honestly don't know. I know in terms of space efficiency, there are definitely gains to be made here. When building this, I was trying to use as few hoppers as possible, so it kind of made sense to go more vertical. And also, in my particular case, where I'm going to be building, vertical space is basically free, but floor space is limited. So going vertical makes a lot of sense for me, but for other people it may not, because this thing is like about 34 blocks tall. So kind of large and perhaps not able to fit into many people's builds. So when it comes back down to the question of, is it worth it to build this? Really, the only one who can answer that is yourself. I definitely think more development needs to be done in this area, and I think something like this, but on a smaller scale for 1x item sorters, and even like, say, a gnembon item sorter, getting something that's really compact for those kind of sorters, I think could be very beneficial. But yeah, I'm not really sure if this is even really practical, if it even makes any sort of sense. Like I said, I know I'll be building one, but yeah. Anyways guys, that's all I got for this video. I just want to make a quick follow-up to my first iteration of this design. And if I happen to get around to making a third iteration, I'll be sure to update you with that as well. So anyways, until next time, thank you for watching, and have a good one.